hey, look on your multi and look on your B vitamins and make sure they're methylated. Kids should absolutely be starting methyl B vitamins. The type on this one, the actual type matters. Mm-hmm. And then really, you can't get usually enough from your nutrition, so everyone needs to probably be considering them in some form, whether it's in a multivitamin or whether it's in a straight like B complex.
Hey, this is Dr. Barrett. Thanks for joining us on the Real Health Podcast. My passion is to help equip you with information that can change your life, the health of your life, and the health of your families. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in nutrition and sleep and how to biohack the body to get to a greater level of health. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, do me a favor. If you like this episode and you like hearing from Dr. B, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. We're really trying to get this health movement out. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode. Welcome back to another show of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. This is your host, Lane. We're here today. We're going to continue our supplement series. We're up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed in the morning.
Yeah, we are.
You've got your, is that coffee or tea?
Mate. Yerba mate. I don't really do coffee. If I drink coffee too early, I crash too early. And I only drink coffee maybe once or twice a week.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Again, if I drink it too often, it just stresses me out. It raises my cortisol levels too much. So mate is a fantastic alternative for me. And it's a lot cheaper than the Japanese green tea.
Where do you get that?
And it's got plenty of B vitamins, which is what we're talking about today.
It's a perfect segue. Where do you get that? Then we're going to talk about B vitamins.
I get this at Earth Fare.
Okay.
It's called Yerba, like Y-E-R-B-A, mate, M-A-T-E.
Mm-hmm.
You brew it at a super high temperature. It's more of an herb, so you brew it over like 200 degrees. And it's very earthy, very, very earthy.
That's what we like on the show, just earth,
yes.
Earthy tones.
Yes, / tastes like dirt with leaves and sticks.
That's okay, though.
But, no, it's actually phenomenal. It really people that drink it love it. Yeah, so,
I've had some of it before. But
yeah, you drink it. I do mate lattes, too.
Mate latte. So that's the Dr. Barrett biohack or supplement or food, or not supplement, or food of the week, I guess, per se. We're talking about supplements today.
We are.
We have talked about fish oil. We've talked about vitamin D. We've talked about probiotics, B vitamins.
B vitamins.
And I feel like these are the ones that they're like, you're low on energy. Well, how do you take B vitamins? Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be an this is going to be a good episode today. What do you want to highlight on the quick episode we got today?
Yeah, really, it's going to be why you should be looking at reading a label when you look at B vitamins. Also, your multivitamin. You should be able to determine how good your multivitamin is by looking at just a couple B vitamins on the label. Why during pregnancy, you need a very specific B vitamin.
Okay.
And how your stomach plays a role with B vitamin absorption. So just those kind of topics.
Are we talking about B6, B12, like all those today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not specifically. We're not going to isolate those. It's going to be more of like a holistic approach of, hey, what you should be looking for when taking B vitamins.
Okay.
Because good question. Specifically, like, okay, let's say B6, pyridoxal 5-phosphate. Is that
B6? Mm-hmm. You just had to throw that out there just to...
Well, yeah, you'd think that. But I had a reason.
Okay.
Because most of the time you'll see pyridoxine HCl.
Okay.
And the problem with that's what we call a more... it's an unmethylated form of a B vitamin, which means 1 out of 4 people in this country, in the world, really can't convert B vitamins efficiently.
Okay.
They have a genetic reason for it, right? So if you take a bunch of B vitamins, I take a bunch of B vitamins, and they're of the non-methylated form. Well, if I don't have that gene defect, okay, so I can utilize it properly. Okay. If you have that genetic defect, that methylated defect, your ability to convert those B vitamins from your food or that pyridoxine HCl to the usable form, the methylated form, which is pyridox 5-phosphate, is not going to work well. So you're going to be actually downstream. You're going to be deficient in B vitamins. So
if you have the genetic mutation,
that's
I'm
right.
almost positive I actually do have that genetic mutation.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm one of the statistics.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Most of the time, people that are like, it's going to affect the nervous system quite a bit. Like methylation as a whole affects the nervous system, affects liver detoxification. So sluggish livers and inability to create certain neurotransmitters within the brain, specifically norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. Those three are very important to have proper methylation steps involved. So, yeah, usually you see, brain and liver being impacted, hormones being impacted with poor methylation. So going back to B6, during pregnancy, if you have methylation defect, B6 is, and you take pyridoxine HCl, or you take folic acid, okay, because all the doctors tell you to take folic acid, and you can't utilize those properly, you can literally create deficiencies during pregnancy that can result in problems. For instance, first trimester defects, miscarriages can happen because of these improper utilization of B vitamins. B6 is one of the best ways to counteract first trimester nausea. So, but if you're taking the wrong form, it's not going to help. Okay, folate is one of the best, methylated folate is one of the best ways to create a healthy first trimester baby in terms of their nervous system and structure of their spine. Their neural tube. But if you have that genetic defect and you take a bunch of folic acid, which is what your medical doctor will tell you to take, well, then you're going to have a deficiency if you have those genetic defects. And that's why it's so important to make sure you know what to take, how to take them, dosing, all that stuff.
Yeah. That was a lot of science in there. I'm not going to lie.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that the listener understands what it is they should be taking when they should be taking it.
The biggest thing that we want to look at is when you look on let's just take a B vitamin.
Flintstone.
Straight up.
Kidding.
Okay. When you look on the back of Flintstones, you're going to see B vitamins, and you're going to see B12, for instance. Okay, and it'll say B12.
Okay,
and it'll give you a dosage, and then in parentheses, it'll give you the scientific name, and typically it starts with cyano, like cyanocobalamin.
Correct.
Okay, that is a very, very cheap form of B12 that most kids and adults aren't going to utilize properly.
Is it not synthetic?
It is synthetic.
Yeah.
When you look at like B9, you'll typically see it in folic acid.
Okay.
Again, synthetic cheap form. You're looking for science name L5-MTHF, or shortened methylfolate.
Got it. Okay.
B6, when you look at that, you should see pyridoxal 5-phosphate. You shouldn't see pyridoxine HCl. So I think the first step is, hey, look at your multivitamin or look at your B vitamins or your kids' Flintstones and flip it over and see what these synthetic names are behind B6, 9, and 12. Is it the unmethylated form or is it the methylated form? And typically, you're going to go to the cheap multivitamin and the cheap B vitamins, but yet you're really just having expensive urine when you're consuming those. You're just peeing it out. You're not utilizing it and converting it properly. So it's pointless.
What, on the spectrum of importance when it comes to B vitamins and getting it more from food, I mean, is the reason why you wanted to do B vitamins is the third in the series? Is that because it's one of the most? It is very important to have.
Yeah, and we see major deficiencies with them. Whenever I run labs, I always see B vitamins as being deficient.
Okay.
And I would say it's essential to have B vitamins coming in through your nutrition. The problem is even when we eat high B vitamin containing foods, which are like, let's just call it a bunch of vegetables, right? We eat a bunch of veggies, we're going to get some B vitamins. When you eat red meat, you'll get a bunch of B12. When you eat eggs, you get some choline and some B9. Well, when you consume those, the problem is if you have a methylation defect, you're still not able to convert those properly. Mm-hmm. So even with a super clean diet, it helps offset some degree those methylation defects. But in my opinion, everyone needs to be on a methylated B vitamin daily. A methylated full spectrum B vitamin, not just one, but B6, B9, B12, thiamine, B1, B2.
Yep.
Because of those genetic predispositions to inability to convert.
How would someone know if they have that genetic disposition?
They can, it's pretty easy to test that nowadays. It's a lot more you can usually just do a classic 23andMe.
Oh, okay.
And then you can find out that way.
If someone is, what are some signs of someone maybe that if they're taking B vitamins right now and they have XYZ, then they may not be converting it. What are some signs that they should probably do something like that? Do a test. I mean, they're no energy. They're sluggish.
If they're chronically anemic on their blood work.
Okay.
If they're chronically showing anemia. If they have chronic anxiety or depression. If they have, they feel like brain foggish. If their liver, if they're in tune with like their, I don't know, maybe their labs and their liver enzymes are elevated, and we see B vitamins being essential for liver detoxification. Kids early on, like early kids with ADD, ADHD, autistic spectrum in general, methylated B vitamins are game changers for kids.
Wow.
So high inflammation levels in the cardiovascular system. Specifically, there's a marker we've talked about on this podcast before called homocysteine.
Yep.
And that marker is a marker of inflammation within the cardiovascular system. If you can test, this is very easy, you can test your methylation levels, methyl B vitamin levels, by looking at homocysteine. Allergies, chronic allergies. There is a inversely related relationship in between methylation and histamine. So when histamine is high, which is more of that kind of allergenic cytokine from the immune system, methylation is low. Methylation is low, histamine is high. Histamine can directly be lowered with high methylation, which means you have sufficient methyl B vitamins. And so when you have sufficient B vitamins, your histamine levels will directly lower. One of the best times to be considering methylation support or B vitamin methylation support is really during allergy season. And when you do support them, you can see a tremendous difference in your sinus allergy system.
On the back of a bottle, last question, is there too much of a percent? I know because when you read some stuff, it's like
20,000%.
Yeah, I mean, can you consume it?
Yeah, yes and no. Like if you haven't been supporting your methylation system and it's genetically blocked, and you're 40 years, 50 years on this planet, and you start slamming a bunch of methyl B vitamins, it kind of opens up these pathways and can create some issues for sure. Like it can cause panic attacks, anxiety disorders. So you just want to be very careful with starting a methylated B vitamin support regimen. That's where you want to be mindful of percentages. But over time, as you become more efficient at utilizing B vitamins and specifically methylated B vitamins, then no, they're water soluble. So you just pee out what you don't utilize.
Okay.
So yes and no. It's different than vitamin D, where you can inevitably become toxic in vitamin D.
Yeah.
There's really 4 fat-soluble vitamins that you just got to be mindful of. It's vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Those 4 can become overconsumed. Virtually every other vitamin on the planet is water-soluble and cannot.
Got it. Okay. That's helpful. This is a good. This is a quick one. This is a good one.
Yeah, I think the take-home message is, hey, look on your multi and look on your B vitamins and make sure they're methylated. Kids should absolutely be starting methyl B vitamins. The type on this one, the actual type matters, and then really you can't get usually enough from your nutrition, so everyone needs to probably be considering them in some form, whether it's in a multivitamin or whether it's in a straight like B complex.
Amazing. That's good. Vitamin D, fish oil, probiotics, B vitamins.
We're set. We're rolling, man.
We're rolling. We're stacking these on for the people.
Next episode we're going to talk through is glutathione.
Glutathione.
The most powerful antioxidant in the human body.
Yeah, and we're going to figure out how we're going to do that, whether that's going to be on a phone
This is
call.
our last in-person.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, we're not going to speak that out. We're not going to speak that out. There are going to be opportunities that we're going to be able to record live and in person.
On the beach.
On the beach, yes. And
at Lane's house.
At Lane's house, or when I come home for holidays or things like that, we will figure it out. And so, see you next time.
Sounds great.
On the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. Guys, if you think this episode would help anyone in your friend group, in your family, when it comes to supplements, please share this series. We would appreciate it. And we will see you next time where we talk about glutathione. Before you hit X, hold on 1 second. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today with Dr. B. 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast movement. 1, share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And 2, if you go to Apple Podcast and you scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and give us a review. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next episode.